Sorry everybody, it's Xilicks here, and welcome back to some Guild Wars 2. This is going to be me covering my PvP build. I'll also be doing my PvE build, but I figured I would start with my PvP build for my Ranger, Certain Ranger. This build's going to be focusing on pure power and condition damage. I've seen a lot of critical hit builds and stuff like that. Honestly, I really like the condition Ranger build because they stack bleeds very well, and they can still do a ton of power and be kind of tanky, surprisingly. You wouldn't really expect a Ranger to be much of like, oh, it can take any class, it'll live forever, but this build, I don't die too often. In fact, I've even gone tournament games without dying and getting a decent 15 to 20 kills. So yeah, I'm gonna start right off here with the trait lines. I'm going 30-0, 30-0, 10. The Beast Mastery 10 isn't really necessary. I mean, you can put that into Nature Magic or Skirmishing, whichever one. I would recommend either Nature Magic or Beast Mastery, but that's just personal opinion, really. What's big is going to be the Marksmanship and Wilderness Survival. Very key factors to this build. Marksmanship, because we're getting plus 300 power, which is going to be very good. You want to be doing a lot of damage with this build. You're going to be kiting around, running around, being really annoying to the enemy, just getting in their way, putting cripples, immobilizes, chills even. And then also the condition duration increased by 30% is going to be vital to this build. It's going to make our bleeds last longer, our vulnerabilities last longer. Every condition we're putting out there is going to last longer. The minor trait, Opening Strike, causes vulnerability with your first strike when entering combat. This is amazing. It's 5 stacks of vulnerability, and it works with the 15 minor trait of the Master, which pets also have opening strikes, so you're getting 10 stacks of vulnerability right at the start. At the start is when you're gonna be, at the start of fighting an enemy is when you're gonna be doing the most of your DPS. So with that vulnerability up, you can take them down to like half health. They'll use your heal, and it's pretty much it from there. Then we're gonna, for the Adept Major trait, we're going to have Signet Mastery. Signets recharge 20% faster. This is going to be pretty good for our Signet of the Wild. Brings the cooldown to 96 seconds. Usually I believe it's around 120 or 130. I'm not sure exactly. But it's going to help that's going to be off cooldown a lot. Because we're not really using it for the passive effect, which is nice. We do get some regeneration from it, but we'll go over that in a bit. Next up we have Piercing Arrows. All arrow attacks, or all arrow attacks pierce enemies. I read that weird. But if you see here, if we target this medium one, Golem, in the Heart of the Mist lobby, and we get behind this light one, and we shoot, we'll see that we're doing damage to both the medium and the light golems, because it's hitting them both through. The arrows are piercing because of that trait. Normally, it'll just hit the light one or whichever one's in front. Next up, Precise Strike. Opening strikes, always critical hit. That's not going to be important to us. That is very good if you're running like a skirmish thing where you're doing a lot of crit damage. But we're not really focusing on that, but it is nice because, well, as I said again, we're going to be wanting to do as much damage as possible right at the start. Signet of the Beastmaster is going to be our Grandmaster Major trait. Active effects of Signets also affect you. If you play a Ranger, you probably already know that all the Signet active effects only affect your pet. And just to make sure, yep, your pet. Yeah, so all of the Signet active effects only affect your pet. This is going to be giving it to you and your pet, which is very, very vital for the Signet we're using. Next up, we have Wilderness Survival. Plus 300 toughness. That's going to make us live for as long as we possibly can. It's going to be great for this. And then 300 condition damage. That's the big part here. We definitely want that condition damage. We're focusing on condition damage and full DPS. The minor adept trait is natural vigor, increases endurance regeneration by 50%. This is going to be amazing because it's going to allow us to dodge a lot. If you watch here, our endurance refills pretty quickly. And that's going to be great because we're going to be kiting around, making sure we don't get hit and we take out the enemy. Survival skills recharge 20% faster. This is vital because 3 of our skills are survival skills. 3 of our utility skills are survival. That's going to be very vital to this build because they're the big skills. You and your pet gain 2 seconds of protection when you dodge roll. This is pretty good. Protection is nice to have. It's going to make us live longer, especially when we're kiting around, dodging around. Pets deal extra condition damage. This is also going to be good because our main pet, the Lynx, does a bleed. Bleeding is fun. Bleeding is nice. We like making people bleed. That sounded very morbid. Deal 5% extra damage when your health is above 90%. As I said, we're going to be wanting to do a ton of damage right at the start. Extra 5% helps. Especially because right at the start is usually we're at above 90% health. The Grandmaster Major trait is going to be hidden in plain sight. This one is very useful. Apply camouflage when you are dazed, knocked down, launched, pushed back, or stunned. This effect cannot trigger more than once every 30 seconds. Basically what this is going to be doing is, if we are ever dazed, knocked down, launched, pushed back, stunned, interrupted, all that stuff, we're going to become invisible for a bit. That's really good because a lot of the time if somebody pulls you towards them, they're gonna be wanting to DPS you. If you can get out of there really fast and they can't even see you, it's gonna help a lot. This is also good for if you're ever finishing an opponent and they interrupt you. You'll be invisible for a bit. You can come back in there and finish them off without them even knowing until you uncloak. Then I went with 10 in Beast Mastery just because it's nice to have extra 100 healing, make us live a bit longer, and our pet's gonna live a bit longer because we are getting pet attribute bonus by 10, which is all of their attributes. We'll be going over the attributes in a little bit, but Zephyr Speed is also very nice. You gain 2 seconds of quickness when you swap pets. We are going to want to swap pets if our pet's about to die. So the extra quickness is good. Quickness is amazing on a ranger, especially if you're using short bow. And then pets recharge their skills 10% faster. This is just going to make it so our pet is going to be doing some steady DPS alone in case we need to kind of get out and let our pet take a bit of the aggro. Next up, we're going to be going over our weapon and jewel and armor. So I have superior runes of the afflicted all the way down, except on the boots I have Grenth, just because the Death Nova isn't that useful. However, we kind of get the Death Nova because we also have afflicted rune on here. We probably could have gone with like, I don't know, something else that added condition damage here, but we are technically getting all 6 plus extra condition damage. But it only works. It's kind of weird because it's like half aquatic, half not, and the game's kind of confused on what's going on. But yeah, here are my stats if you want to look at those. They aren't as high as they are in PvE. I run a similar build in PvE, not the same, but they are pretty high. Condition damage at about almost or 500 less than 2,000. I can't speak today, and our power is almost at 2,000. We're going to be wanting to use a short bow with a agony sigil on it, which is bleeding duration by 10% extra. That's going to be very great, added to this 30 extra condition duration. And then we're going to want to have the Axe Warhorn combo. The Warhorn isn't necessarily good, but I would recommend that you do have a Sigil of Corruption, which is gain 10 condition damage each time you kill a foe. We aren't going to be really using that much, except for when we want to get away, because the 5 skill grants swiftness, and we can chill and bleed, and this hits like all of the opponents. So if we ever get in a tough situation, we'll go Axe Warhorn, but if we ever get one-on-one against any enemy, we're going to be wanting to use the short bow, unless everything's on cooldown. Then, next, I will be going over the skills on my toolbar. Not toolbar, but whatever. So, on the short bow, we have Crossfire, which bleeds for, I'm getting 4 3/4 seconds on this. of bleeding, which is really good with all of our extra durations and stuff. Then poison volley, poisons for 2.5 seconds, but it's 5 stacks of poison, so that's really good. Then quick shot, it does give us 3 seconds of swiftness if we hit a target, but it's also really good to get that extra dodge. Crippling shot, this is going to be very important if like a guardian or any other class is charging us. I usually use this against guardians because they're kind of tough, but if anyone charges you, warrior even, you'll want to cripple them. And we're also getting almost 10 seconds of bleeding with this. So not only will they be moving very slowly towards us with 4 seconds of cripple, but they'll also be bleeding for 10 seconds. And then next up, concussion shot. We're really only going to be using this to save our allies. And by save our allies, I mean if an ally is about to be finished, we'll want to use this because it counts as an interrupt, which will stop them from finishing our ally. So that can be used to save some of your teammates sometimes in PvP, which is pretty awesome. Then for the heal skill, I'm running heal as 1 just because it has really high and fast heal. You get it pretty quickly. If you don't want to use that, I would recommend using Healing Spring because it cures conditions. But that's really only if you're kind of be standing in one spot. Since we're going to be moving around a lot, this isn't going to help us too much. Healing as 1 also has a 20-second cooldown and a cast time of 1 1/4 seconds. So as we see there, pretty short cast time, not too much of an issue. And then Signa the Wild. The passive is we have regeneration on our pet and I, but the main thing is we are going to want to use the active a lot. Our pet grows larger, and since we have the Signa the Beastmaster Grandmaster trait in the marksmanship line, we also grow larger, dealing more damage and gaining stability, which can be really good if you're ever fighting someone that knocks you down a lot. So as you can see there, my pet and I just got larger in size. I do think it's kind of cool that it makes you bigger, but whenever the stability walk runs out, we'll shrink down. Now here's the big part. So first, I'm just going to show you how many hits it takes to take out this target golem with only my auto attack. Well, not how many hits, but how long it takes. So here we go. I'm not going to be using any other skills except my auto attack. So as you can see there's the 10 stacks of vulnerability, and we got him up to 13 stacks of bleeds, taking him out very quickly with only the auto attack. Now here, I'm going to show you what we'll want to do. But so let me explain these. Sharpening Stones. Your next 5 attacks do bleeds. The bleeds are 9 seconds each. They stack, so, and then that's nice. Then you'll want to be using Quickening Zephyr a lot. This is a stun break, which is pretty good. We're getting 5 seconds of quickness. 5 seconds. So for each of those 5 seconds, we're going to be wanting you to use that with Sharpening Stone, which is 5 attacks. So that's going to be getting a lot of bleeds very quickly. We're going to start off, though, if we have a feeling that this enemy is going to cause us trouble, we're going to use Entangle, which immobilizes our foe and puts, or can get up to 20 stacks of bleeds. The vines stay around until they destroy the vines, but it's an immobilized, so they won't be able to move for a bit. So this is what's going to happen. Entangle, Sharpening Stone, Quickening Zephyr, Auto Attack. It's going to go by pretty fast, but here we go. And look at his health drop. Not only that, but we also got the other golems in this Entangle. So it hits multiple enemies, which is cool. I'm not sure if that deals with piercing arrows or if that's just what the attack does. But yeah, we took out that target golem very, very quickly. So now I'm going to be going over my 2 pets. I am running with a Lynx and a Snow Leopard. The Lynx and the Snow Leopard because they're F2, or for me just the 2 skill. They're leaps. The leaps are more accurate, so I'll show you here. If we do that and we sick him, he does a leap at him. They're more accurate and they tend to hit from further distances, which is good. Then his attack does bleeding for 31 seconds, 2 stacks of it, and our Snow Leopard does the chill. So if we ever need to get away, we'll switch to our axe, get off chill, use our swiftness, use the chill on our pet, and then if it's off cooldown, the crippling shot and the 3 skill, and we can get away from enemies very quickly. So I'm sure you guys are probably bored of just watching me chitter chatter and stuff about what's really going on. So I'm going to head over now, get into a match, just a random pickup game, not tournament or anything, but I'll just go into a random match and I'll show you how this build can be very, very, I can say very a lot of times, but good against a lot of the classes in this game. So I'll see you guys back in a bit. Alright, so starting up here we have a warrior. So I'm just going to start off right there with the Quickening Zephyr and Sharpening Stone and pretty much just auto-attack him down. Take him down very quickly with the help of that other ranger, except he goes down and I finish him off very, very fast. As you can see, the hidden in plain sight trigger there. I think he tried to interrupt me, but I took him out before he could, so we're just going to recapture fully this point, and in a second I will come across an enemy ranger over there. He's going to be using longbow, and his pet is a spider. Not too much of an issue for me. I do make some mistakes in the beginning. I use my entangle before I'm in range, which didn't help me at all. A lot of my skills were on cooldown, and as you can see there, I walk into his traps. But he's not going to be doing anything to me. I use Signet of the Wild there to get the stability, use Quickening Zephyr, and DPS him down. Apparently my pet killed him with the bleeds there, and right now I'm just going to be using the rest of my skills until he's fully dead. So yeah, sorry I wasn't able to get too much footage on the actual PvP. Problem with that was I was unable to kind of get some good gameplay because it was only 2 versus 2. It was really just that warrior and ranger that I showed me killing, and pretty much all the fights I had with them went similarly. I crippled them and bled them to death. But yeah, that's about it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching my build video. Hopefully my PvE build video will be coming soon, and then also I will be putting up some more PvP footage, like full matches, so you can actually see a lot better how this build plays, instead of just seeing just kind of like 1v1 little things. I'll show you in like more situations in like the more tournament aspect of PvP, so you can see how it can be used in other situations. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Xilicks. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, thanks, bye.